Hey you guys, so I am repotting George. You guys might have remembered him. This is the plant that I made the planter for. He looks a little worse for wear. Yep, he doesn't look that great. And I was thinking maybe he just needs a bigger pot. I'm not too sure. But I wanted to show you how his roots look like because you guys were curious. He took a turn about 2 days ago. I know I'm emotionalizing this little plant. He took a turn about 2 days ago, and I him up yesterday trying to see, what was going on. And it seemed like he was getting a little root bound. So I took him up and I tried to prop him up. He got worse overnight. And today he has his new home. And part of it is thanks to you guys because you guys guided me how to put some draining holes under here. I don't know if it's going to be enough draining holes, but we'll see how it works. We'll see how it works. You see, this one has about a whole bunch of draining holes. This one has, I don't know if I can show some draining holes. Yeah, I can't flip it upside down. So, yeah, this is George. You can see his roots are still alive. They're, but they are still there. And I tried to fan them out a little, just trying to be a little gently. To be honest with you, I'm not too familiar with this. But like this root looks pretty good. See, this one is white. I'll show it to you guys over here. But he does have some white roots over there. And I'm hoping by putting him in this nice, nice new planter, and if I have the soil all where it should be, he'll be okay. So I don't have any gardening tools, so I would just do it the tried and true way, which is make a big hole and put George in and see how it works out. I'm not afraid of getting my hands dirty. Especially if you have to deal with a cat like Oreo. Actually, yeah, let's do it that way. And George can go over here. See, you can see his little roots over here. See it? There's hope. I think there's hope. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least it's rotted. I don't know. Some of it doesn't look so great, but other parts of it looks like there might be signs of life. If it doesn't work, it's okay. At least I tried. But I will try and replant him in a last-ditch effort to make sure he's okay. Yeah, he was just going downhill since I got him, despite my best efforts, and it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I feel like if I had repotted him earlier, maybe it would have made a difference. I'm not too sure. But yeah. So I have all the soil over here, and I have more soil. But look, I'm kind of short over here. Oh, I'm too short on soil. Yeah, I have to make more soil over here. Yeah, it's not covering all the way on top. I thought I had a lot of soil, but I am short, so I have to make more soil. I have to drain more soil. Because I don't think this little drain thing over here, look at that. So actually when I was draining this out, all the soil is inside of the sink. Hopefully. I think like 99% of it is in the sink. We'll see. There might be like 1% inside. And yeah, he's poor little guy. He's looking actually worse. He looks worse than he did like 2 hours ago. I don't know if it's just because or what, or if I've transplanted him twice in 24 hours. But he does not look very good. He does not look very good at all. He might be a really dying plant. So I gotta put more soil on him. And I don't think I want to show you guys this because it's just gonna get super messy and crumbly. Super messy and crumbly. Hopefully he's okay. See? I still have like a whole bunch of area over here. I gave him a bigger pot, but he looks terrible now. He looks even more terrible than he did an hour ago. Which is crazy. Oh, little guy. Yeah, everything is off. There's like a sign of hope or sign of death over there. He has like his last lifeline, which is that little piece of green. But it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I'm not gonna give up on this little thing though. Yeah. He might have been. I kept him out in the sun for about 2 days, and then I brought him inside, and he just and then from there he just got worse and worse and worse. No, I have a strainer. It should be fine. No, too much burn from too much heat and sun and heat. He said, "See, I kept him by the window still, and he was nice and cool. And then I noticed his edges were starting to go, so I put him in the sun 2 days. And then I said, "Oh, he's getting." And I brought him indoors. And after I brought him indoors, he just got even worse. So yesterday I saw, man, he's declining. Let me look and see if he's getting root bound or something. So I opened it up. He looked a little claustrophobic, and yeah, he looks even worse today. So you guys will get updated on this little thing. This is my I know probably within a few days if he's dead or if he'll make it, but yeah, look at this. Like this looks super dead. And when I got him actually most of his leaves were dead. That's why you see so much cut off. I haven't cut anything off since I got him. So, yeah, I will see. Let's see. I'm going to make pretty. What are funeral protocols for a dead plant? That's a good question. What are the funeral protocols for a dead plant? I don't know. Hope for the best. Hope for the best. Say a little ode, dear plant. You save you, and yeah, I tried to save him. I felt bad for this plant because it looked like 50%. It looked like half of him was already kind of going, and I thought, well, maybe he was just thirsty. Maybe he needed some water, and yeah, it obviously didn't work. It obviously didn't work. It wasn't just that. So I am not known to be a plant killer. I'm actually pretty. I think I'm pretty good with plants in terms of being basic. See, this is the other plant that I got, and I need to water it. But he looks okay. And then of course you saw the plant outside, and that plant looks pretty much fine. It looks like it's thriving outside. I'm not too familiar with the plants, but yes, this is what I used to put the water inside of that one plant. The spout is so narrow. Let's see. Oops. There's a strainer. Don't worry. There is a strainer. So this plant, for instance, it has this little water on the bottom. So I just try to over here, and he seems like he's okay. But for whatever reason, George is not faring so well. So out of 3 plants that I picked up, George is definitely by far the worst. But he was actually in the worst shape compared to all the other plants. The other plants were a little thirsty. But yeah, George over here, he's he's taking a big hit. It does not look bad. It is what it is. It looks bad because it's a dead plant, but the thing is that dead plants are absolutely it's not uncommon. And I think some people would say, hey, if you have a dead plant, you should just give up on it. But I'm not going to give up on this little plant. I have a lot of hope for it. But it's like, I just don't know how to really rehab this thing besides just potting it. It looks like a snuff movie for plants. Yeah. So my plant fine, my plant over here is fine, and this plant is taking a huge dip. Also, Goth Matex, why do you think it looks bad? Do you think it looks bad because dying? Do you think it looks bad because I'm repotting it? I'm kind of curious. Yeah, naturally, dead plants do make good compost, but I don't have a compost bin over here. I don't mind showing different sides. Like, I can always just show like the pretty plants, but I figure life, you get good plants, you get healthy plants, you get plants that are thriving and you put care into it and they work perfectly fine. And then you get plants that you just try to fix, and even though you put the same amount of effort or even more effort into one plant than the other plant, for whatever reason, it's not recovering. Ah, oh, thank you, JP. I don't want to I don't like the idea of just showing the pretty things. The stem is when loose. Ah. Yeah, the stem is woody. So when I look at it, you got like one green area right there. I don't know if you guys can see him. If you look all the way on the bottom, there's still a little green. But this is not, I'm kind of curious to see how this will turn out, because if I add enough soil and I put in a thriving environment, will it bounce back, or will it just, say this is too much shock for the being repotted, dealing with all this poking and prodding from me, even though I don't think I would try to be too intrusive on it. Is it just too much that the plant is saying, it's too much work, too much energy, and it just gives up, or will it be okay? But regardless of what happens to this little plant, it is a good learning experience, and I will be sure next time if I had a dying plant like this, like I said, it already had like 50% already gone. It kind of looked like it was clinging for life, shall I say? If you look at it on the other ones, it's like it had so much damage on it already that it is what it is. And I tried to merely make the best of it. I tried to rehab it, but yeah, it's hard. It really is hard. I know you guys have really good green thumbs, and you guys know exactly what to do. But I just have coconut soil thingy majingy, cocoa core, I think that's what you call it. And see how that is. Gotta cut off the rotten parts. Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what this plant would thrive in. Someone actually put the name of what plant they thought this was earlier, and oh my goodness. Want to see something? Look at this. Look at that. So I sunk this in water, and it just kind of crumbles. I know someone's like, oh my gosh, it's making so much mess. Yes, it's making a mess. So you just put water on it, and it just kind of breaks apart. And that's why I'm doing it in the sink, because I don't have a yard or anything where this can just go into cleanly. And if I put it on the floor, it just gets all over the floor. And I figure if I put it here, it would be a little better. And I could just pop a little bit. Oh no! Oh no! What happened to your leaves, little one? Oh no. I gotta keep track of his little leaves. See, it's dying over here. Yeah, so I hope this little thing is okay. It's a little bit more effort, but that's okay, because I don't mind putting an effort in. I just want to see this thing thrive. I really want to just see this plant thrive. And I will have faith in it until I have not have faith anymore. That's the way. That's my take on life. Like, I try to be very hopeful about things, even if other people might not be hopeful. You can always have more faith and hope into things in life. And if it doesn't work out, I did my best. I did my all. And yeah, so there he is. And he's all covered up. He's all covered up. I don't know where his dead parts is, and I don't want to poke and prod him too much, but he's all covered up. Look at that. Yeah, no, I didn't push down too much. It's not like compacted in there. I'll lessen it up a little. There. Okay. Ta-da! He's probably like, God, there's so much water around me. So much water and so much soil around me. Put a sponge on the bottom to retain. Yeah, I kind of already repotted him. I think what I might do is I just might use the bottle thing and see how that goes. What I wanted to do is actually put him in a self-watering container. I'm a big fan of self-watering containers. See how it works. Yeah, I have no problem growing mint and basil and things like that, but I've never had experience with a plant that I think he just needs a little bit more TLC. Let's see how this thing goes. Let's see how he is. Okay. You okay, little one? Oh, he looks terrible. Yeah, he looks terrible. Keep the faith. Keep the faith on this plant. Not the best looking thing. I know 99, I feel like 95% of people would just throw this plant away. Until he shrivels up, and until I have 100% certainty that this plant is gone, then it is what it is. Yeah, you hear that? Listen. I don't know if you heard that little weird meow. It's like, meow, 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 meow. That was Blackberry. She's like these weird meows, and it's creepy late at night. It really is. Because she makes these like, it sounds like something in a horror movie, like you might see in a cornfield or something. And it's just, it's weird. It's weird. She doesn't have like those typical meows. Not like Clinton's meows or like Clinton goes, you know, his meow, and then Oreo does a meow. But Blackberry, she goes like, no, 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 no. Yeah, George is the plant. George is the plant. I had a lot of, when I got him, he wasn't in the best shape, and I've been trying. He took a really bad turn within the last 2 days, and as a result of that, I've been kind of fretting trying to save this little plant. And yeah, I knew like when I picked him up, he didn't he was in the greatest shape, and I was pretty hopeful that I could rehab him, but for whatever reason, this plant was taking a turn for the worse, and I just decided to repot it. Here, my green onions are doing perfectly fine. I had them in this, so it's really cool. So this is actually a kitty white that I rinsed out, and I put water underneath, and then I put that cocoa coral over there, and it automatically was just watering the green onions, and then it got a little too big. It was getting a little wrapped around that, so I put it into this planter, and it's been perfectly fine. And over there is my other plant, and that was the plant that I picked up the same time as this little guy, and he looks perfectly fine outside there too. So that's a pretty plant. It looks like it's thriving. And yeah, so I got one thriving plant, two thriving plants. Let me grab the third one. This thriving plant, this one's fine. and then I got this. So that's why I'm taking a vested interest in this one plant because it's the only one that needs the most attention. It needs the most attention. Yeah, I don't really use plastic bottles, but I had bought it, and after it was empty, I thought, hey, let me try to make this reusable water, self-water thing for the green onions, and I did, and it worked out fine. And then after a while, I just replanted them into this thing, and yeah. So yeah, I was just like, grr. Yeah, I just kind of like shove it inside of there. So I fill it up with water and then I just shove it deep into the soil. Yeah, it's a fire escape out there. So that is my plant out there. I didn't think of naming that plant yet. I really should name it. But this one, I took so much. I felt so bad for it because it's been dying, on my watch, and I think to myself, geez, I really wanted to make sure it was a really good plant. So, like I said, this plant was picked up the same time as that plant. You can tell a huge difference. And the one outside, that plant, that plant looks very, very healthy. I don't know what plant that is either. You guys were actually recommending that I don't. No, they don't bite these plants. I know that for a fact. They aren't biting it. Oriole's been having stomach problems for the longest time, so. And I know Oriole hasn't been biting this one because he never jumps on the kitchen counter in terms of where the sink is, so. Yeah, I don't know what's causing it. What? You mean the outside fire escape? Was George outside? Yes, George the plant was outside for 2 days. He wasn't looking so good, and I thought maybe it was decreased sunlight since I had him on the opposite side of the apartment, and this is mostly the sunny area. And the cats really wanted to lie over here. So I didn't have space for this green onion plant and George. You hear that? All those weird, like, demonic sounding noises, that's blackberry right here. No, it goes like, wow, 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 wow. It's weird. It is weird. It's creepy when it's late at night. It really is. So, it took me off guard. It took me off guard. Yeah. It's hard to capture her when she's making her noises. So that's why you never really see it. Yeah, I put it outside for 2 days and it was getting burnt up. So that's why I rushed it inside and I thought, hey, let me keep it inside. That way it doesn't take so much damage from the sun. And then it just got progressively worse and worse. And yesterday I thought, oh crap, is it droop bound? Is that it? What's going on? Is there bugs or something? So I lifted it up from the bottom and I decided to repot it today as a last ditch effort. But it's not looking so good. I do know that. Like maybe a small glimmer of hope. I also have heard though that for people who do have potted plants, they say sometimes if you do rehab a plant, um, if you do rehab a plant, sometimes it can take months for it to get rehabbed. And I thought, months? Okay. What is going on? Clinton is doing something to Blackberry. Yeah. Do you hear that? Clinton was trying to get it on, but she ran away from him. So, yeah. It is what it is, though. And, yeah, I hope it's okay. But I see that plant, and I see this plant, and I see my other plant that I showed you, and then I see this one. I'm like, oh. it makes me sad for this plant because I actually put the most amount of effort into this one plant. I was checking up on the plants almost every single day. This plant and that plant outside because I can see it. So these two plants I can see every single day. The other plant that I showed you off, maybe I check it once every 3 days. And this plant was always in my line of sight. So, who knows? Who knows what happened? I might just keep him outside for a little bit, but I'm afraid if I keep him outside, he might get absolutely, sunburnt from the sun, because he didn't handle it too well. But I got to do more research on this exact plant breed. Yeah. Indoor plants, I don't have a problem with keeping indoor plants. Normally, if I have a plant and it's not doing so well, it's because it got overrun by aphids. But this one, it's just like, like I said, I remember when I picked up this plant, I thought to myself, man, no one's gonna want this plant. This plant looks like it's in rough shape, and like half of it was kind of wilted, and the other half looked not so great already. So I cut off half of it. You can see all the dead growth that I cut off. This is when I first got it, and it seems like the remaining half is just not doing so well. And yeah, that's the problem with having a house plant. And I don't know what to do from this stage. It's just a bunch of prayer and hopefully the sunlight works somewhere and yeah, seeing how it works. But normally I do not have a black, a black thumb or anything. Usually I'm pretty good with my plant. This one, by far, it's the most difficult case of plants I've ever had. Because I seriously can't figure out what it is. I thought maybe I was overwatering it as well, but even just, I didn't feel like I overwatered this plant, and it was just not so great. But I do think there could have been draining issues because the soil seemed kind of damp, but I'm not too sure. So if you look at my video, something about like I'm rehome plants. I actually made a video on it. Something like I think it's like I rehome plants. You'll see how he looked like beforehand. You'll see exactly how he looked like beforehand. Didn't look too bad. He looked a little, thirsty or something like that, but for whatever reason, just took a hard turn. Hard turn. So the hope is maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll get better. Yeah, I was thinking about buying I think it's called black gold potting soil. That was that was something I was looking into, but they said if you hold potting soil for too long, you get gnats, GNATS. I didn't really want to deal with that, so that's why I got this coco coir because it doesn't have any bugs in it. Ah. It needs some better drainage. Yeah, I only have like 5 holes underneath it. So now I'm thinking I didn't poke enough holes, but we'll see how it turns out. Because this one, the original pot had like a whole bunch of drain holes, and this one, I put 5 holes. Yeah, it's a complete waiting game. Yeah, so I mixed some of the old soil with this thing. Because I noticed that if I tried this coco coir on the bottom, it basically blocked out all the water. At least that's what it seemed like for the drainage pipe. So I put the old soil on the bottom and kind of put the coco coir in the middle. And then I kind of mixed it in with the soil that George already had. Yeah. So, but right now it doesn't hurt, I think. I think it's okay. But I think I actually need to have more drainage holes underneath there. Yeah. My drainage hole game is a little not so great right now on this thing. And someone put the name of this exact plant, but I have to look it in the old video. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. And yeah, I have like 5 drainage holes underneath. But I don't think it drains very well because I think it kind of gets blocked up. It doesn't seem, the soil doesn't seem too moist. I mean, it doesn't seem, yeah, too overly wet. They're better draining medium. Yeah. Yeah, well, I will give my shot with this thing and see how this thing works. Bye, can't wait. Oh, yeah. Put old strips of old cotton shirts. I've heard about that, but yeah. But anyway, if you guys have any videos about what I can do exactly, let me know in the comment section and how I should layer it. I don't want to put too much stress on this plant, even if it is kind of on its last limb right now. I think repotting is a little. No, I did not name this after the person who was killed by the police. I actually had this name beforehand. But stones are important. Yeah, that's the thing. Like when I think about potting soil, because I'm such a noob at it, I always think like, hey, if you just put it, if you just put in a bucket of sorts or like a pot, it should be okay. But I've never actually put stones inside of that. And I think most plants that I've had never had any stones in it. I don't even know how these things were draining. I think it just had a lot of drain holes and you just prayed for it. What is it? You hear Clinton? Yeah. If it pushes new shoots, then all it'll green it survives. Yeah. We'll see how this goes. I watered it probably about once every 2 to 3 days. I didn't water it every day because I looked at the soil and the soil looked like it had a lot of moisture in it. So if I felt like the soil was super wet, I didn't want to water it because I was kind of afraid of waterlogging it. But I don't think the soil was draining very well because it constantly looked overtly wet. What? What is it, Clinton? What is it, Clinton? So I like saw it and I was thinking, oh, it doesn't look like it's doing so well, so I just watered it. What? Clinton? Clinton? I'm provoking him right now. Oh, water it once a week? Really? That's it? Goodness. I feel like I'm watering the other plants like, oh, if it's out of water, I'm like, I keep watering it. I don't know, these other plants look okay, but actually now that I think about it, that plant, I probably water it once a week. But this plant, this one, not really. Clinton, move. Clinton. He has this habit where he just charcoal helps heal plants. Mm. Oh, I did not know that. Yeah. I always thought you could just use it as a standalone. So if you had it as standalone, it would be okay. That was my thoughts about this potting soil, but yeah, I guess not. Oh, I learned something. Yeah, so, okay, so Paul, right now, what would you suggest? I just take this out and I mix in perlite? Hmm. So just take out all the soil and then mix, what, 50% perlite and fix 50% this stuff? Yeah, I'm not too familiar with sand, so. Yeah, this is like way too many repottings, I know it. Hmm. And then just mix it all up? Hmm. Hmm. Okay, well, maybe I'll go to Home Depot today and then buy some perlite as a last ditch effort on this thing and chalk it up as a learning experience. But I don't think repotting is really a good idea. But maybe it's gonna take a hit anyway. We'll see. We'll see. But I will talk to you guys later. I have no idea what kind of plant this is. I have absolutely no idea. This is. I don't know if you guys can see it. Some plant with. It was like green and yellow. I remember that. The leaves look like dying, so I can't show you guys how the actual leaves used to look like. But it was green and yellow. And it had stripes inside of it. It's a really pretty plant. Ah, mix the perlite and sun with cocoa bean. Look. Okay. Well, anthurium. You know what, Paul? I would try your suggestion. I will try it and see how it turns out. And hopefully, this little guy is okay. I hope he's okay. Ah, all roots need oxygen. So, Paul, I'm just curious. Would you recommend that you mix perlite with all plants? Mmm. Anthurium. I will check it out. Huh. Mm. Okay, now I want to get now I want to get perlite and kind of see how it works. But oh my goodness, this poor plant's gonna be so stressed out. I kind of want to give it some time to readjust before I do that because it's probably thinking like, what the beep? This is so much repotting, so much repotting. I think it actually looks worse now than it did like an hour ago. I don't know if I could fix it that quickly. Because when I saw it yesterday night, it looked much better than it did today. And now it just looks like it's slowly dying off. I'm very sad about it. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later and cut any dying leaves. But Paul, if I cut all the dying leaves, doesn't that mean I cut the whole thing off, basically? I mean, like I see this one. Oh, look, this one. This one's kinda there, but this one's dying and this one's dying. I think I'd be cutting out like basic every single thing off, right? Correct? At least cut the bottom leaves. Oh, okay. Yeah, these ones look like they're taking a hit. Okay. Yeah, so I'll cut this part off. And this one looks like it's like foregone for sure. And that one looks like it's foregone for sure. Anything that looks like I'll have to cut that off. Yeah, aloe is super easy. That's idiot proof. I had a whole bunch of aloe in Hawaii. Super easy. But I heard it's poisonous to cats, so that's why I don't have any here. If I do have it, I'd have to grow outside. Put it at the joint or node. So when you say cut it at the joint, you mean cut all the lowest I can, right? Like cut it deep, deep, deep down. I know they grow out of control after a while when they start sprouting out offshoots. It just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Okay. Well, Paul, I will take your suggestion and we'll go and buy some perlite and I'll check back with you guys later after I put in the perlite. I don't know if I'll be doing it today because I think it's Home Depot's gonna be closing within a few hours and I need to make dinner, but no, we're just where the new leaves can sprout. What? So cut it off here. Okay, or is it like okay if I do it like the same length here? Oh my goodness. Okay, I will keep that in mind. Well, thank you for the advice. If you guys have any websites or something you can direct me to, let me know. And I will talk to you guys later. Garden Channel Australia. Okay. I'll see ya.